Welcome to the Black Men Experiences channel. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, this mentally, or should we say, a mentally disturbed Black man was abused by this inhuman, demonic cretin of a violent Black woman, a Sisterhood of Chaos member who also did other major criminality. And when I sit there and read on this article on this helpless, particular mentally disabled Black man and also physical impairment situations and what this cretin of an inhuman Sister of Chaos Black woman, this one did, I was like this. Right? Because when I'm about to read over, see, most people that listen to this topic show tonight, today is December the 11th, 2025. Most haven't heard this story. Even when you look that story up, it's like not that much is talked about on this as much. Because Black male pain is irrelevant in this system. But at the same time, you start saying, hey, what are you going to do for women? We got to protect women, right? Numbers of Black women, modern day especially, we got to protect Black women. But when you start talking about, hey, it's topics like this, what about the Black male pain that's coming from not just in various sections of predominant culture, the ones that have a ingrained generational hatred for Black American men, right? I'm not talking about gullible and naive and stuff like that within certain type of Black American maleism that are just useless to anything dealing with strong type of Black men empowerment, right? And knowledge sharing. So what are you going to do about that particular part, right? That these violent type Black women that are domestic abusing Black men every day, right? What are you going to do about that? Stay quiet, right? So let me go ahead and share my screen on this situation. I'm just going to read this particular article. Sorry. Let me go back and my bad. I just clicked on something incorrectly and it went off somewhere else. Let me go back or reshare on my screen again. Oh crap! I keep doing it. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep hitting these wrong buttons for some reason. This story was just an atrociousness of this particular violent Black woman, a modern day what she did to this Black man. So let me go back here and share my screen once more. Okay, make sure you can see this. All right, looks like that's good to go on this one. My mute is my volume is good. Now, let's go ahead and begin. This particular violent Black woman is accused of starving, beating a disabled Black man, mentally and physically in this situation, before he transitioned because of major blood loss at the hands of that violent Black woman, Sister of Chaos member, relating to this topic. This is the Black man in this situation that had the mental and physical, quite a number of ailments going on, and may his soul rest. This particular Black woman, inhuman cretin, that she was out of New Orleans, is facing a manslaughter charge and is accused of abusing her boyfriend's mentally disabled brother, starving and beating him for months. before allowing him to transition from an untreated stab wound to his leg. According to this particular entity, Kayana Inhuman, Sister of Chaos member trailer, 37, often kept 32-year-old George Singleton confined to a filthy half a bathroom in her Tarrytown townhouse, the door to which was sometimes blocked with a washing machine. According to this particular entity, Singleton transitioned February 18, 2023, of blood loss after he accidentally stabbed himself while trying to open a can of food, and no one sought medical attention or policeness help for 12 hours, according to the authorities. This is the inhuman, despicable cretin. This is what the system thinks. This is what the Sister of Chaos members think, that black men that's worth anything, truly, right, that has confidence themselves, are supposed to settle for this parasite. The coroner said this man could have lived, so I guess someone called these digits. He could have lived had that person put a tourniquet on his leg. He could have lived, said this particular entity, during a hearing at this particular time on Traylor's case. Traylor was arrested July 26, a couple of years ago, by this particular entity, booked her with second-degree murder in a shooting unalived of Singleton's brother, her boyfriend, Robert Singleton. So when I said other major criminality, so she was involved in the second-degree murder in the shooting of Singleton's brother, the picture I showed you earlier. So she shot Robert Singleton, the black man. These are unfortunate as they had the mental and physical ailments. She shot his brother. That was her boyfriend, Robert Singleton, 32, shot him. Violentness. And the insulting part was those charges were refused by a grand jury, according to this entity. Blackmail pain, again, is irrelevant in various sections of the society, right? Now, if this would have been a beyond mentally disabled, physically major ailments, black woman, and she was that way, and a black man did that, oh man, you already know what kind of major outrage it would be. And unfortunately, there are numbers of black men in America that still don't get it through their thick skulls. The type of hatred that numbers of black men have every day. I'm not talking about the reality thinking black American men that know what's going on. Those are small, getting smaller within America. Because this system has tried to make more black American men to think they just have to get a certain education. They just have to be a certain celebrity-ness. They just have to have a certain high values of residence. They just have to sit there and look a certain way, right? They just have to act a certain way. And I've done multiple videos on some more black male remindment pain on some ones who thought they might have been a little bit different. And they got some remindment. And I've done that. I've done numbers of those. But what I want to do is, hold on for a second. I want to keep going on something. Let me fast forward on some stuff. After this particular 3 digits call, Jefferson Parish deputies were dispatched in Traylor's home on the 200 block of Wright Avenue in Tarrytown in February 2023 after the department received you got the point on this, call at 10 p.m. reporting a unalivement. At the residence, said this particular person who testified in their hearing, they found George Singleton's unalived, lying curled up on the floor just inside the doorway. Kiana, the inhuman Sister of Chaos trailer, lived in the townhouse with George Singleton, Robert Singleton, her children, and Singleton's brother's mother, who is partially paralyzed from a stroke. So this major black woman, this one Cretan, Sister of Chaos member, she unalived the boyfriend. She said unalived the her brother, right? That was majorly mental and physically disabled, right? Lack of food, unsanitariness that she showed him. And then she was also doing elder abuseness toward their partially paralyzed mother. This is the kind of stuff, the Sister of Chaos members, they don't want to talk about, right? They don't talk about these kind of things. Trailer told deputies that George Singleton had accidentally stabbed himself in the leg while trying to use a knife to open up a can of food. Singleton was mentally and physically disabled, autistic, and had a seizure disorder. Trailer also told investigators he had an eating disorder and was known to consume raw meat or try to open canned food with his mouth. Trailer told deputies that George Singleton had stabbed himself about an hour or two before the 3-digit call at 10 p.m. Trailer claimed to have dressed the wound, cleaned up the bathroom where the stabbing occurred, and then taken the rest of the family except for Singleton and his mother out for food. When they returned, that's when they found the decedent lying on the floor. Now, the real situations too with this. Denied food. And autopsy determined that George Singleton transition of a 5-inch stab wound that hit the femoral artery in his thigh. The forensic pathologist noticed other cuts and gashes on his thighs that were in various stages of healing. George Singleton had also bruises on his shoulder and injuries to his head. Let me read more of that part. She told Mrs. Trailer would not provide food on a consistent basis, that she and George would often go hungry. Testified this particular person, who said that the Singleton's mother could not walk or move about without assistance. George Singleton's autopsy revealed that he suffered from acute starvation and chronic malnutrition. This particular person said he lost 44 pounds in the 4 months that he lived with Trailer, according to this particular entity. Let me continue here. I'm moving a little bit quicker here. A fatal shooting. Kiana inhuman, violent, domestic abusiveness, black woman, Sister of Chaos member, Trailer, wasn't arrested on the night of George Singleton's transition. But the case in this particular area picked up steam after this particular entity accused her of fatally shooting Robert Singleton on February 11, 2024 at his Jordan Avenue home in New Orleans. You can see through the pictures of state of decline, they talking about going back to the George Singleton's brother. George Singleton himself. He was heavier and had more color to his. Hold on, let me go back. Here on in. There were other photos that showed the filthy living condition in the bathroom, the piles of trash around him, and the progression of his starvation. You can see through pictures of the state of decline. He was heavier and had more color to his skin. As the pictures go on, his face is swollen, blackened eyes, like he had been beaten. He starts getting thinner, as well as the color starts to change in his skin. In addition to the manslaughter and cruelty, Kiana, inhuman, demonic, cretin, parasite, Sister of Chaos, black woman, violent, domestic abuser of a man, Trailer, was booked with failure to seek assistance for a person suffering serious body injury. But at the same time, right? Black men that's worth anything, right? That has high confidence are supposed to settle for this particular cretin. This is what black men that are doing things constructively. I'm not talking about bougie ones, stuck up ones. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about them. They are useless to anything dealing with true black male empowerment, right? They get used by supremacist type people, used by people within various parts of economics culture. I mean, the list goes on with that part, which is another major problem in itself, right? So the atrocious thing she did to this black male right here, who had autism, major autism situations, major physical and mentally disablement type of disorders, and look at the violence she put upon him, beating him, starved him, beat him, right? Don't hear too much of you didn't hear too much about this story. But at the same time, black American men are supposed to be settled for these kind of things. I appreciate you the comment, brother Apex Prowler 95. Salute to you too, brother. On that, hope things are going decently for you as well. So I appreciate you stopping by. And so the thing about it is, before I play this other video, let me play. Well, before I close down the show, play this other particular last video, should I say? Let me play this particular video because there's hatred toward black American men, and I'm not talking about gullible or naive ones.
Time for lefties losing it, and to the ladies of the View, the bitter, mean-spirited Delulu ladies of the View, here is Sunny Hostin calling black men, Cuban men who vote for Trump, ridiculous and crazy.
You've got 53% of white women that voted for him in 2020. We've got to reach those women. We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump.
The hatred that some of these numbers, quite a number of Sisterhood of Chaos members have, and certain type of pseudos Sisterhood of Chaos members, right? That slide under the black banner. I'm not talking about some of the good sisters that, maybe not necessarily black American, but they are still decent. They are about something, and they don't have this hatred of toward black American men like these Sisterhood of Chaos members on this. But this is how, when I heard that Sonny Halston said that egregious, basically toward black American men. Don't get sidetracked with the Cuban part. She's just sidetracking there. It was predominantly for black American men, because black American men didn't even sit there and vote like that. Black American men primarily voted for Kamala Harris. But of course, that's really not talked about, right? On that situation. So the thing about it is,
I couldn't help but note your pain. My pain, it runs deep. Share it with me. I couldn't help but note your pain. My pain, it runs deep. Share it with me.
yes, yes. The black male pain is real psychological and generational and physically pain that's provided toward black men, various sections of America every day. And some that thought they were different have gotten some reminders. Some of them slip through the cracks. That's how it goes sometimes. But the minute get the ones that thought they were different and the ones who did slip through the cracks and they got reminded, it's, oh my goodness, racism. I'm like, I feel no sympathy. Don't let me be the person that be like trying to, hey, do you not sympathize? No. I'd be like, go to Haiti's too, right? So the last thing I want to show is this particular video. It's a real quick few minutes. Let me, before I share, let me get this right first, because this ad blocker stuff kept popping up on me on this particular video I wanted to show. Give me 1 second here. And this will be the last video I'm going to show. Give me a second here. I'm just trying to get this. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is the last video. And I do appreciate you for stopping by, personnel listening to this today, and ones that listen to this down the road. Right here. Okay. Make sure you can see this. All right. Let me go ahead.
We do have exclusive new details for you tonight in a bizarre Jefferson Parish case. Police say they caught a woman accused of manslaughter trying to remove her electronic ankle bracelet with the help of her brother. Well, turns out her brother is a doctor, and he's accused of participating in an elaborate scheme to sneak her out of the hospital without it.
Oh, that doctor has now been booked in this case. And investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein has disturbing new details about a big red flag that authorities caught days before the attempted escape.
Earlier this month, 38-year-old Kiana Traylor was locked up, awaiting trial in Jefferson Parish. She is accused of killing a mentally disabled man, 32-year-old George Singleton. Detectives say she allowed him to bleed to death over the course of 12 hours after the starving man reportedly stabbed himself, accidentally trying to open a can of food. She is also charged with cruelty to the infirm, accused of abusing Singleton's partially paralyzed mother. This police report states that Traylor lived with the family in Terrytown.
That's insane.
Traylor was due to be brought to court March 10th, but 3 days earlier, she was released from jail wearing an electronic ankle bracelet, freed on a $650,000 bond. Authorities were alerted.
They were aware that this offender had been released from jail.
She left lockup at 8:46 p.m.
Almost immediately after her release, the ankle monitoring company ASAP received a troubling phone call from the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office. An assistant DA said Traylor was calling and harassing her alleged victim, the paralyzed woman.
They asked if we would please put a protection zone around the facility and let them know if anything happened right away. And we did that immediately. She was exposed. So the minute the DA's office added that digital zone, they put a huge ring of protection around their victim.
When Traylor's court date arrived 3 days later, she was a no-show. Instead, she spent the weekend at University Medical Center claiming to need an MRI for a possible stroke. For the procedure, Traylor had her ankle bracelet removed. According to Matt Dennis of ASAP, a physician, Dr. Carrie Sterling, vouched for her.
The man in the room posing as her doctor was her brother. And he is a doctor. And he's holding the clipboard. And he's wearing scrubs. And he's talking about her like she is his patient.
Suspicious, the ankle bracelet company alerted Blair's Bail Bonds, the company that issued Traylor's surety bond.
She wasn't going to have a cup of coffee. She was trying to get out of there.
Ronald Yost, a manager at Blair's, said his agents caught Traylor trying to leave the hospital.
She had walked out of that hospital with that monitor on, with every intention on escaping.
Traylor's ankle bracelet was put back on, and she remained at the hospital, claiming she'd get the MRI the next day. But at 7:25 the next morning, Traylor is on the move. ASAP tracked Traylor as she ended up deep in the Bywater neighborhood. Her path ends with a bright red tamper alert. After all of Traylor's efforts, it ended right here at this intersection where police say she and her brother were caught red-handed trying to remove her ankle bracelet. Blair's agents arrived within minutes.
UMC is in on Tulane Avenue, Tulane and Claiborne.
Right.
Well, she was in the 9th Ward on Poland Avenue. And when he got there, he noticed that she was laying in the back of a vehicle with a gentleman cutting the monitor off.
It was the most Stone Age version of escaping from an ankle monitor. After all the elaborate plans failed, she went to hacking at it.
Traylor is now being held on a new bail of $700,000. Her brother, Dr. Carrie Sterling.
I want to pause that for a second. The embarrassment part of this. Now, this black man went to all that schooling, went to medical school, went to all that type of educationalness, and was stupid. This is why I can never respect someone just because, say, they have a certain type of education. I've never been that kind of person. There are some super smart people in various parts of America, relating to this topic, some super smart versions of black American males, right? And there are also some naive ones that have a high education level that I've come across the ones I'm like, I have to question their logic. And some of them have some high education. I'm like, oh man, but their logic is off of some things on that, especially when it concerns relationships. How many numbers of Black American men, I'm talking about the ones it applies to, that have a certain type of high education, but man can't even see through these tactics that numbers of these women, especially numbers of these Sisterhood Chaos members, do every darn day. This is embarrassing right here. This Black American man was so weak. This one was so weak as a medical doctor, he still was being used by his little demonic sister. Beyond ignorance of this.
Was released after being booked with accessory after the fact to manslaughter and tampering with an electronic monitoring device. Mike Pearlstein, WWL.
This was embarrassing, and it was a heartache of a story. But I want to relay over this part of it, because the thing about it is there's such a need for more topics of discussion like this and other type of topics relating to within the Black Male Experiences channel. And again, I hope that particular Black man that's relating this topic that was majorly disabled mentally and physically, I hope his soul rest in peace on that situation. I thank you for tuning in to the Black Men Experiences channel.